I survived it. My mind started to come back to the realities of what had occurred in May '86 on the Phoenix project, because I was back out on the island visiting. I was given the grand tour of the old base. The fields there are very, very, very stimulating, and that's what is needed to the subconscious to force these memories back up into the conscious level. The Phoenix project recall came first. That was the most recent project that I've been on. Then the Philadelphia experiment came in January of '88. Dr. Van Neumann is still alive today, though in hiding. And there is one other project, scientist still alive today, also in hiding. I've not been able to get to talk with either one of them, though attempts have been made. And I can prove, as I will, in the workshop, that Dr. Van Neumann did live at least until about 1980. And I know he was here much later. The public record says he died of cancer in 1957. Not so. Government cover-up. If there are any questions, for a few minutes I'll attempt to answer them because I get cut off here in another 6 minutes. Right here in the front row.
You know anything about the F-117 bomber? I saw some of the Edwards in the air show. They had very suspicious deals. That they didn't seem to have the usual force that it had. It was designed very alien.
The B-2 was a very strange combination of flying wing technology, originated originally by Jack Northrop back in the 20s and the 30s, and of course he built some flying wings, the B-47, let's see, the B-46 I think it was called, was it the 35. The 36 followed on it and won the final contract from the Air Force, but they built quite a number of them when they were scrapped. He went into retirement, and then later it was resurrected for the B-2. It is built by Northrop. Much technology has been added since those days, and some very strange design factors to make it radar, shall we say, radar elusive without the invisibility factor. There are very special coatings on that aircraft. I've seen the material. It is not just a paint. It is a very thick, plastic-like material which is applied to the whole surface. Next question.
Yes, so what happened to the men that were embedded in steel? Was it reversed the process? Did they somehow...
They all died. They all died, and I was part of the burial detail. They cut the steel decks and the bulkheads out with a torch and buried them, steel and all.
Hey, I would like to ask you, like, there currently any people telling you after these, whatever, of distortions of time and space as part of the mind control project? Because I know I can work with that.
That is true. The more sophisticated mind control techniques today use a very strange form of spatial time distortion. I know of at least one case, perhaps there are many, many more, where a person has the right and left lobes of the brains separated and split so that one side, let's say the right lobe, is a normal personality, the left lobe is developed into a separate personality, so that person has worked on two jobs in one day. First 8 hours as a normal person, or the other way, it doesn't matter. Then they're taken back 8 hours to the point where they started in the day, and the personality is switched, and they do the second job for the same company, and the same day, the same 8 hours. At the end of the day, one friend of mine had been doing this for years, they finally found out what was going on, and they put him right off the project, and it ended. But he was so fatigued at the end of the day, he couldn't do anything to go home and eat, watch TV, and go to bed. He was running his own business, he now can. In the back there, the gentleman in the sweater.
The sailors that were embedded in the steel plates, would this be a side effect that was later developed to take abduction victims through closed doors, windows, ceilings?
I'm sorry, developed later for what?
To, let's say, take abduction victims through closed windows, doors, ceilings?
That was done by aliens. As far as I know, we do not have that kind of technology. Question was the problem with the sailors embedded in the steel plates later developed into a means for abduction of people? To the best of my knowledge, no, that's strictly an alien technology, and that's not developed here. The gentleman over here.
Where's Duncan Cameron today?
Long Island, New York.
Is he at the same base?
He was part of the Phoenix project, but he's now working as a carpenter, trying to keep himself alive. 2 more Okay, lady right in front.
I have a question about doesn't make sense. It's like, why would they get the letter?
Why would they let me leave? One of the long parts of the story I go into in the workshop is the history of Morris Jessup, a well-known, internationally known astronomer. He paid the price of martyrdom, as they say, because he investigated the Philadelphia experiment from 55 to 59. Was going to tell a friend of his about it, a Dr. Valentine in Florida, and possibly go public. Was found out what he knew. And either on the way to Valentine's, or as I understand now, after he left Dr. Valentine's, he was apprehended, taken to a park, given the monoxide treatment with the usual hose, found dead the next morning in his car. Now the procedure is that anyone who goes into public view, telling secrets, if you will, if they have a large backing following the public, they will not repeat that mistake, because to do so puts the bottom line on it, which says, yeah, that guy or that lady must have really known something because they did him in. So they give you the silence treatment, and that is exactly what I've had, the silence treatment. One other question there in the back.
So are you saying that today, government can control time manipulation and control?
They've been doing it since the 70s. Okay, the books will be out in the lobby for sale if you wish them. And at this point, I think we'll have to close because time has run out. I thank you very much for your attention. We look forward to the workshop.